So tonight we are going to talk a little bit about authority. And of course, when we talk about authority, it really has a bad smell. For most of us, authority is not a positive word. It's more a negative word, a word with a negative feeling around it. So when we look to authority, there is two different authorities basically. We have the outer authority and we have the inner authority. And often we are confused about this. Or we just forgot about our inner authority and just basically are confirming to the outer authority. And often this happens already in early childhood, where when we kind of, we start to develop our own will. I don't want. No, I don't want. I don't want. And in this development of the own will, so often this will is not really honored. We are not allowed to have a will. We are not allowed kind of, to say what we really want or how we feel about things. And of course, when a little child is asking and demanding all kinds of things, this is not always possible and not always good either. But, it is important for parents to put a border and to say, no, this is not possible. You're not allowed to. And when we look into it, it's very much how we say it, how we put the border. Are we making the child ridiculous because it wants something? Or do we give the child the feeling it's too much? Do we kind of block the own will of the child? Do we kind of discuss with the child? Or do we give the child the opportunity to express itself and to honor its will, although it's not possible? Do we give this child the space to make its own decisions? Or at least, when it's not possible, to express its own decisions? Do we give the child the feeling that it's an author of its own life? And so often what we do is that we kind of break this idea, because, we are not authors of our own life. We're so much dependent on outer authority. So one of the biggest outer authorities there is of course society. And we have to confirm, to adjust to society. If we don't conform to society, we will not fit in. And when we will not fit in, it will be incredibly unsafe. We will be lonely. We will be an outlaw. Maybe we will become a tramp. God knows. Horrible things could happen to us. And then, what exactly is society? Because again, this is such a difficult thing. Did you ever feel society? Were you able to touch society? Is it something concrete? Is it something you can smell? Does it have a taste? What is society? So it seems that society is an abstraction. It's an idea. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against society. But again, why is there a society? Why is this idea here? This idea is here, I think, because we are a group of people and we live together. And in living together and being a group of people, we need certain rules. We need services, and we need to give some service to live together as good as possible, as comfortable as possible. So when you look upon it like this, then society is there to serve us as human beings, to help us, to support us. Society is not something which is kind of like a demon in the air we have to be fearful for, or which is judging us, or really, really have to adjust a lot and work hard to be part of it. So again, when we look to this demon society, we have to adjust to, we have to confirm to this high authority. There's maybe one authority which is higher as society, and that's God. There's another authority. And then your partner, maybe that's the biggest authority of all. So what we do, what I try to give examples for, is that we place authority outside of ourselves. We put authority on society, we put authority on our neighbors, on our loved ones. And the moment we put society, we put the authority outside ourselves, we get into a struggle. Because we get into a struggle because, we kind of let go part of our own authority. And what is this own authority? What is this really about? So I brought this forward already. Very central in your own authority is the feeling, the freedom to be the author of your own life. To be truthful towards your own feelings, decisions, your own insights. To be what you are, as you are. This is what authority is about. In its unconditional form. I do it my way. And there is no other way as doing it your way. We can try to adjust, But when we adjust and when we bend for an outer authority, immediately what is born is rebellion or conformity. When we conform to outer authority, we become kind of totally dependent on the outer authority to tell us what to do, how to behave, what to be. So in this conformity, the question comes forward, am I okay? Am I doing well? Do I do good? Am I acceptable? Do I belong? Do you love me? Do you care about me? When there's authority in the heart, it's not about, do you love me? It's about, do I feel love towards you? Is there an atmosphere of love between us? There is no question about it. So when we look to this dependency, which is based on conformity, the other side, which is always there as well, is rebellion. And this rebellion is, coming forward in first a heaviness of feeling we are in, a resistance. So many of us, when we have to do something and there is an outer authority who is demanding it from us, like society demanding you to send the bills to your bookkeeper, we postpone it. We don't want to. We postpone our taxes. We don't really feel for it. There's a resistance. There is a resistance to do the things, which are demanded. We have to. And this is part of this heaviness, this whole feeling of have to. I have to wake up in the morning. Then I have to take a shower. I have to brush my teeth. I have to go to my work. And then I come home and then I have to talk to my wife because otherwise she is unhappy. And then I have to sleep early because otherwise I'm not fit for work tomorrow, when I have to wake up in time and have to go to my job again. And maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but so often our lives looks like this, or is looking like this. The heaviness of the have tos, the resistance we feel, the anger we feel sometimes towards the outer authority who's putting this upon us, who's demanding this from us. Demand to adjust, to confirm. So when we look to this, this resistance and this anger is a fight. But this is not only a fight which is outside. So often, we kind of integrated an authority, an outer authority inside us, which is telling us how we have to be. We internalize this. And this authority makes it very difficult for us as well, or we make it very difficult for the authority. It's a kind of split. So our head is saying you should do this and this and this and this, and we cannot move. There is such a resistance. You make a plan for the day and you cannot come to it. Tomorrow I'm going to clean up the house, I'm going to do the dishes. Tomorrow I will work very hard for one day and then everything is okay. And the next morning we know it's tomorrow. But then tomorrow never comes. So cannot put ourselves to it. And the horrible thing is that we cannot put ourselves to something else either. So we kind of, we start to buy time. And that's part of this resistance. Okay, let's first watch a show for half an hour. Or play a game on the laptop. Just a little bit to prepare. And after that, I'm going to clean up. And it will be okay. I love to clean up. It's not a problem at all. And 3 hours later, we start to feel guilty. Because, it's already late and we don't have time enough. And it becomes very stressful and we don't feel for the stress. And it is our free day. And why do we have to do all these kind of things on our free day? Come on. I'm going for a walk. But there is this guilt, there is this heaviness. And it's almost oppressive. Such a resistance to the decisions we make in our mind, because nobody else made it. So where there was first an outer authority complex, it becomes an inner authority complex. It's suffocating us. It makes it difficult for us to do what we really want. It's difficult to come to a discipline. And again, this is such a dirty word, discipline. But what is discipline really? So discipline, basically, when you go back to the root of the Greek word discipline, it means following your own inner lead. Following your own inner lead. It's not heavy. It's not obligation. It's just following your own inner lead. Your own inner need. It's following your own inner authority. And what is this authority? Is to be the author of your own life. To have the right, the space to make your own decisions, your own choices, to decide for yourself, to decide how you will react to the world, to decide how you will react to different areas of yourself, the freedom to give your own attitude, not to conform to what you think is demanded from outside yourself. But if you want to conform, you choose to conform. It's not an either or. It's not that everything what the outer authority is demanding from you, you have to say no. It's doing it on your own authority. You are making the choice to conform, to adjust. Or you make the choice not to adjust. So this comes with responsibility. Because, if it's your choice, it's your responsibility. We cannot put the responsibility somewhere else. It's really your own choice. So that means whatever you do, or whatever you don't do, there's nobody to blame. It's your choice. There is no dependency. On, the appraisal of somebody else. You do it for your own fulfillment, for your own feeling of righteousness, for your own feeling of what you want to be in the moment. So there is no guilt. All of this is kind of, so much grouped together. Guilt, obligation, resistance, heaviness, feeling that there is no freedom in your life. Freedom that you have no choice. The feeling that whatever you want will not be there for you. All of this is grouped together around this amazing word authority. So, of course, when we put the authority outside ourselves, can we trust the authority? Is the authority really able to see our needs? Is the authority there really there for us? And this is part of the pain we are carrying around, because, we gave authority to our parents. And again, our parents had authority, to our teachers, to our politicians. But we didn't give them authority on our own authority. We give them this blind authority. They have to decide for us. They know us. They know what we need, and they don't. At least we feel so deeply not seen, not appreciated. And often with a rage, a lifelong rage towards our parents, and a lifelong struggle. No, please, please, please see me. Say that I am okay. And what is being okay? Say that I'm allowed to suffer. Say that I'm allowed to feel rejected. Say that I'm allowed to feel not seen. Give me, please, my authority back. Give me, please, back that I can be who I am. That I can feel what I want to feel. That I can experience what I am experiencing. That I can think what I'm thinking. That it's okay. So in this lifelong fight with outer authorities, we never get this. Because the outer authority is also putting authority on us. We've got the authority to reject, to do difficult, to make problems, to rebel, to hurt. It's an endless struggle, which only can be solved, in my eyes, when we start to take back or reconnect with the inner authority, which is always there. So in reconnecting with the inner authority, which is also always there, there is some rage coming forward. because we feel deceived, forsaken, not seen. And this rage is based on pain. So there is kind of a little bit we need to move through. There is some fear. And most of this fear is fear which is kind of is given to us. Fear that when you do things your way, you never get a husband. You never get a wife. You never get a job. Nobody will like you. We have to adjust. So there is a fear in moving back to your own authority and becoming the author of your own life, that you become selfish, narcissistic. You don't give a damn about others anymore. It's all about you. And nothing is less true. Because, when we put the authority outside of ourselves, we all the time need affirmation. We try to do the good thing. And why do we try to do the good thing? To be accepted, to be part of. It's all about us. When we rebel, at least this is a rage which is honest. But then again, the rebellion against ourselves is not very helpful. So when we move back to the inner author, our inner quality of authority, we are for real. We become for real. We are able to take responsibility. And taking responsibility, again, has nothing to do with guilt. Taking responsibility is such a relief, such a freedom. Saying, I did this, I decided this. And there's such a freedom in it. Because there is no dependency, nobody to blame. This is how it is, this is what it is. It brings us in a total different vibration of relating. We don't need to kind of push blame on each other. It's not needed so much. Because being your own author, you also become aware of what your decisions are based on. And you're in touch with a deeper layer inside yourself, in which it becomes clear, that in the decisions there is either innocence or not. So when there is innocence, there is no reason for guilt. When there is purity, there is no reason for shame. And of course it happens when, in your life, that you will hurt somebody else based on your decisions. But if you take responsibility, if you are your own author, you feel regret. And there is a difference between guilt and regret. Guilt is all about ourselves. Regret is our ability to feel the pain which is caused in the other. So we don't leave the other alone in the pain. It's not, oh, it's my guilt, I did it wrong, or it's because of. Then guilt kind of turns into blame. So being your own author in life is a little bit of a training. And we have to meet some pain here and there, but it's so worthwhile. There is so much more vitality in being your own author. You don't need to fight your decisions anymore. It's easy to follow. There is not all the time, this anger and this hatred to outer authorities. You don't need to fight them. They are what they are. You make your own decisions.